start that. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your bountiful blessings on the city, your protection, provision each and every day. And God, we just ask that you guide and direct us forward as it leads the city forward. In your name we ask. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Vernon. Here. Alderman Phillips. Here. Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett.
Here.
Alderman Walker.
Here.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Asbury. The Attorney Winfrey. Clerk McKinney. Vernon, you have a form.
Thank you, sir. Consent agenda items, you should have 2 claims reports and the minutes from last meeting. Any questions on any of those?
For the streets department one, the budget item, I'm assuming, you know what the large item was for? It was the raise, is that for that hole that was over there at the Seapole, or is that a different project?
Or the storm drain.
Storm drain 4th Street. Yeah, yep, it's the last item on that second page, $41,250.
Yeah. So that was storm drain.
And then I think the 11,000 up above, also for the concrete, calcium fiber is probably the same thing.
Yep.
Just one.
What did that end up total be?
I don't have all the total numbers, but I know we're way under the 100,000.
Wait, under or over?
Way under.
I move that we approve the minutes and pay the bills. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Staff updates. Chief Vernon?
Just real quick, last storm siren test we did the voice before it again, just to see if anybody can hear it, so, just to get everybody used to it anyway, I guess. So maybe it'll work if we ever need it or something else.
You should have a report too from Chief Vernon about activity goals from last year. Anything you want to say about that?
No, it just, I did it up real quick, so, our programming we got now, I don't know if I like it or not, but it takes way too long to dig up stuff and everything should be accurate in that though.
We appreciate this. It's good. Chief Kidwell? Steve?
We've been working with Jason quite a bit on the storm drain, getting that all wrapped up. We've been doing a lot of potholing and getting ready to start on the trail some. As soon as Scott gets some surveying done, get us where we know exactly where to put the crosswalk in.
Perfect.
And boring companies are gonna start up here again before too long. A few more months.
Very good. David?
Yes. Alright. So we have 2 projects we'd like to put out for bid. They are in the budget. The one for the Air Park Pavilion, paint it, and the other one is the roof replacement for the full concession stand. Here for you to look over and see if we can move forward with putting them out.
Questions on those bids? Yeah, now is there a motion?
Motion to send out the bid.
I do have one question really quickly. So this is, for the pool stand, says it has to be completed before the 15th, but we don't have a time frame on the other one. Is there a reason why?
That I do not know why there's not a time frame. I know that we want the full one done as soon as possible before the end of the season. I
Right.
do not know if there's any particular reason about the wood standing. Do you know why we don't have a come up and see?
No, I think a lot of it is because it's gonna be wind and rain and everything sensitive, because we're gonna have to cover the concrete and everything else, so you might have to do part of it and then come back and do the other half. It's gonna be kinda tricky to keep it, to do all that staining of all that wood in there. So it's gonna be a little bit time consuming to do it, so I think she kinda just left it open the way I understand it.
Okay, so my only question would be, we didn't get to use it much last year because it wasn't.
Right.
And it kind of took a hit on our income for that, so
Right.
I would just,
I think a lot of it's gonna be on who bids on it and how they're set up and how they're gonna do it, cause it's gonna be really slow, cause you don't wanna get stain all over the concrete and make a big.
absolutely, I just wanna make sure it's available, like May is a busy month for that
Right.
typically, and so I wanna make sure we're not
Right,
right in the middle of that.
Right.
when we decide to do
I
something
think
about
she's
it.
trying-
It'd be better to wait, or,
right, I think they was trying to figure out a way to do it and get in and get out, but it's gonna be really, if it's windy, you can't do it, cause it's gonna blow the stain everywhere, it's gonna be one of those, you're just gonna have to jump in and do it one day or 2 days and get in and get out.
okay.
Can you put a time
You
frame on it?
I don't necessarily, I'm fine with the time frame. I just think we need to be aware, like, if, I don't wanna not rent it to somebody, to stand up.
Yes. There's a motion on the floor to accept the bids.
Yes,
Is there a second?
second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? And motion passed.
And then the other thing I had to bring before the board is we have a residence on South Chestnut, and we need to figure out what we're doing. I've looked through all the records, it is platted as a city street, it's listed in everything I can find, it's never been vacated. I only have an issue with the plowing and turning the trucks around, they're saying it's kind of a safety issue, it's just, they don't see it as enough room. So I brought it before the board so we can get this settled, and then if they'd like to say anything, they're here tonight.
Good evening. So, the first issue with this is the plowing. That's all we want. This is a city street and it should be plowed just like any other city street when it snows. Takes 4 minutes. There's no need to back up. You're plowing. You go forward, you back up. You don't need to turn around. But if you do, there's plenty of room to turn the truck around. The second part of that is the street sign was changed from Chestnut Street with a white sign with green letters to a blue sign with white letters that says Chestnut Drive, South Chestnut. Now, on the north side of First is still South Chestnut Street. And there are 2 homes over there that also, number 2 and number 4. And that's also city property over there. So by changing the street sign, I don't know that there was an ordinance to do that. Not that anything that we found, so.
Which one are you saying are the 2 that is also city property?
So this is my mother's right here. And then this, all of this right here is city property.
This line down through here is?
Yep.
So this is not, this was
This is-
vacated in
this-
1952.
Well, this is address to South Chestnut
Yeah.
Street.
Okay.
This is number 2 and this is number 4.
Okay.
And this is 110.
Okay, so this is number, okay, these are the 2 you're talking about?
Yeah, for some reason it's 2 even numbers on the opposite side of the street, but, that's the number 2 and that's number 4.
Okay, perfect.
Alright, but this is still, it may have been vacated, but it still comes up on the GIS as city of Elgin property. All the way through here, and it's probably because there's utilities under it. You know, I would imagine that's why, because this portion here, right here, was vacated. And then this right here was the alleyway that was vacated. And that's why it's like, just like this is off. This is off, right?
So sir, have you found something that says this was vacated?
Just this part right here.
What did you find that said that?
What they have is there's a deed from one of the property owners to another saying they're giving them the vacated section. But in actual, I have not found any actual.
There's no
vacated,
ordinance
Not
that
county,
says it's
county, and that's the only.
But that's why,
The
so
property,
like
that's the
here's
only
a,
one that shows that
there's
one
one
of
of
the
that,
owners
right?
deeded it to another one.
And that's this portion right
Yeah.
here. So, I don't know if at one time it was gonna go all the way through.
It was, the original plat of Eldon shows it
Right.
going from here to here, and you can see those blue
Right,
dotted
right,
lines.
right, yeah, but those are all over the place, you know, there's dotted lines here like that and over here. So, but that was an alley here that was vacated. That's the only one that was officially vacated. And that's got held
show that it's vacated on the map.
And then this is
Any record of when
the
that
platted street right here,
Mhm.
and then this shows that alley right here,
Mhm.
right, which was vacated. And then you can see how those properties were nice and square. And then, when it changed, you can see how that changed it.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So, and then that's, like I said, that's the street, and the signs now drive.
Gotcha.
So if you look it up on, Google Maps, you know, Chestnut Drive, it doesn't come up.
Mhm.
You know, just like Cardinal Lane doesn't
Right.
come up on a map either.
It
But
does. It does
Pardon
on the
Lane
North
does.
County
on the
GIS,
GIS it might, but on Google Maps,
comes up as board.
yeah, I see it on the map there. But the way that you're set up, there's no road there at all. It's just the two driveways that come down. And so that's how that's different. You know, there's actual road here.
So, okay. So here's our thing. As far as plowing snow, there's nothing in the ordinance that says we have to plow snow or need to plow snow anywhere in town. The only thing it says is that there is a snow district in the middle of town that if the mayor says that, there's a snow emergency, that area is plowed and it's plowed first. There is nothing that says we have to plow snow anywhere else that I can find in the ordinance. If you guys have found anything somewhere,
No, but
That's
that's
something
interesting, but, at any rate, I don't wanna really, I didn't wanna come to the board yet because I still have record requests that are unfulfilled. And so, I mean, it's really, you're kind of early, premature to be here over this.
but, okay, so here's the other pieces. So the other things with it is, I feel for you, by the way. There's only one way into your mother's house. One way in, one way out. There's no other street that connects to it. That is my thought why they never vacated that street, because that's the only way to get to her house.
Well, there's utilities under there too.
Yeah, I know, but the other
So
streets are
there's still,
vacated.
there'd be city utilities there that still have
So,
to
but
be
if you're saying that
maintained.
this piece is vacated, there are utilities there as well. There's telephone poles that go right through here. There's a telephone pole right here at the end, and there's a telephone pole.
Yeah, there's a telephone pole here, there's still an easement for utilities.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
still can be vacated, but there still can be
But-
an easement for utilities.
But the difference is that it's already platted as a city street. It's
So,
not an easement.
so is Cardinal Lane.
Yes, but you don't have a road there,
Okay. So, I'll go back. to
right?
this.
There's no road,
Okay.
right? Is there a road there?
There was at one time.
But
It's
is there
not
a road
anymore.
there?
There is not anymore.
Okay.
But it's
so
not
then-
maintained by the city either.
Because if you look on the map, it just shows two driveways.
Okay,
to
I'm
reach the
trying to
houses that
help
are
you here.
addressed.
I understand that the only way to get to the house,
No,
Is
I can
that
go
like-
right through, I can go right through that yard out from First Street, go right down my street, and out Second Street through Vonda's driveway.
And-
All
and-
those trees
The
grew
road has
up.
been plowed for years.
That's
and
the
all of a
only
sudden,
reason it's not.
It's not getting
accessible.
plowed anymore. When I,
Steve, do we
Tried to
plow
inquire
on
about
gravel
that.
roads?
No, we've hit that road before, cause she had a hard time getting out and we was told to go do it.
Right, you used to.
she's been there over 20 years. It's been plowed.
So
Yeah,
here's-
all they ask for is
Long
one
time.
path to
So
get
here's a
out.
question for the board. If we start paving roads that say they are roads in the city of Eldon that are gravel, because this is not the only one, we're going to have to do it for everyone.
What's another one?
If we do that,
Virginia.
This is like 4 minutes of time. This is all it takes.
so the question for the board is if we do that, and then what happens should we get something in that drive? If we tear it up, are we going to go back and fix it? Because that would be a huge issue for you all if we go through there and we take too much gravel out and then it's just dirt.
So do you have any houses on
It would be fine.
Dirt now.
It's been plowed like that for years. The city hasn't put new rock on it.
Oh, they're off Manor.
Potholes in it and everything else. And those aren't even a concern. We're not asking for you guys to come over
For
and,
the one lane.
you know, and make a new road out of it.
So
Just,
once again, the question for the board is, are we going to do gravel roads that are in the city of Eldon that at one point were designated city streets? whether they are or not anymore, and then are we going to do alleyways if we go to that way? Because there are a ton of alleyways right now that are gravel as well, that we do not maintain at the moment. Some people have their driveways back to their garages through alleyways. When I lived on Locust, that's the way my street was there as well. We have to make a decision of some sort. How is this going to go? And I don't know what the answer is, but someone has to make a decision.
4 minutes tops.
Like, it's not about,
Just yours. It's not about just
All right,
yours.
I mean,
it's
I know,
not a singular issue.
I've done snowplowing before, you know,
It is, I would love to be able to just say yes and do this. However, there's a consequence that follows because of all the other people and all the other streets and lots that are impacted by what we do with a gravel road in the city limits regarding plowing. That's the only thing we're talking about. We're talking, I mean,
Your
I think we
situation
all
brought
wanna
this to
help
light,
you. It's not bad.
and I feel for you. Your situation brought this to light, but it's not a situation that only impacts you. It's going to impact a
Right.
whole bunch of other
oh,
people.
absolutely, it should, and it shouldn't.
Just a little bit ago, you stated you thought this was brought to us prematurely because you're waiting on,
Records.
for what?
Well, for the utilities that are underground,
Okay,
communications regarding the sign change.
I have a list of.
David has all the requests.
Question.
Do we have a list of how many roads are gravel, streets are gravel in the city?
I do not.
We can get them,
And how many houses are on
Map
that
of
road?
gravel road.
we can get them.
one more follow-up question. Whatever you're waiting on, whatever the list is there anything in that list that you think is going to change the underlying issue of, do we plow gravel roads and what are we going to do about it?
Well, it's been plowed in the past.
for 18 years. I just
Right.
want
It
one
was getting
street in
plowed
case I can
before.
get out
So why did it change?
on an ambulance. has to
Was
be
there,
in.
did it come before the board, or was it just an administrative change?
I don't remember this coming before.
Just like the sign, did that come before the board to change the sign from street to drive?
I know the sign.
Or
I
was
know
that
they
done
put out-
administratively?
Yes, the sign was put out so that they could find it for 911 calls.
There was a sign there already that was changed
I've
from
had policemen come
South
to my
Chestnut
house
Street
that didn't even know my house was back,
was the sign that was there before.
but I always use street. Now it's dry.
Yeah, I think
Now my
they
mail
made it
is
from the
messed
street to
up
drive.
because they're looking for street
Street.
instead of dry.
So they switched it out then.
Okay, and that makes sense.
And that's part of the request, is finding out exactly when it was changed. when
I
we
just want my
changed the
sign back.
Okay.
I just want to be a street again instead of dry.
Where's the thread back to
Messing up my,
when the sign was ordered, who ordered it, how it was ordered?
That
We
I
ordered
just
it.
got today from Kenny when we ordered the sign. So I do have a date on when the sign was ordered, and there was an email for putting a new sign up, because there was a sign up that got taken down, and I got the email for when it was put back up. I'm still getting all that stuff.
Yeah,
together for
the
you.
original sign was a white sign with green letters, said South Chestnut Street. And now there's a blue sign, says South Chestnut Drive.
oh, it
I know when
doesn't
it
say
got
south,
switched to the
it
blue
just
one, I
says
gotta figure
Chestnut
out,
Drive.
I'm not sure where the white one actually came from.
So
I know
I'm
it was
trying
put
to
up for
make this
911.
go a little. So administratively, if someone administratively said they're not gonna plow that anymore, you're just wanting to know why they did
When
that?
I was told, okay, that it wasn't a 60-foot road, right? That's what I was told, and that's why they weren't gonna plow it. Okay, but it is a 60-foot road, and they told me that it was vacated. Now, whoever that was, they've mistaken the alleyway with the road. Okay, and that's what they based that decision on, to not plow the road, and to change the street sign. And that was done without any of the board's actions, because we would have found records for it, and we haven't.
Yeah, there'd be an ordinance. You're absolutely correct.
So-
There would have been something,
So that's why I say it was done administratively, and I tried to correct it administratively, but Mandy Ashbury never returned any phone calls.
so what if I told you that if, and I'm playing devil's advocate, I can't speak for her, she's not
I
here.
understand.
If she thought she corrected something administratively, because we don't do that for anyone else on gravel roads.
Well, should have made a phone call.
And I don't know.
We went up there
I'm
twice.
Just saying that.
we came up there twice, we asked for a phone call, we were told she would call, she never called, you know,
I can't speak.
we made patient effort to try to correct this, you know, we started on this back in October, well before any chance of snow. We only got one snowfall, but it was significant enough that we could have run a plow through there. You know, that's all. If it's like an inch of snow, it's gonna melt tomorrow, that ain't a big deal. And most of the time, in recent snowfalls, it melts the next day.
So as a board, we have to decide, are we going to attempt to go down these gravel roads? That's really the question from my mind, is are we going to do that or not?
Who does the plowing?
We do.
Those guys.
Steve, have you and or your crew plowed this road in the past, the one we're talking about?
Yes, we went down it before. And then we had to bring rock in there too, because we piled it all up at the end of the
Do you remember
driveway.
why you stopped doing that?
What happened, when we got the phone call, we plowed that road, she could not get out. She was having health issues at the time. We went down it and plowed it, but we did windrow a bunch of rock all up, and we had to go back and pull it back and try to fix the driveway. That was one
No.
time.
I totally disagree with any of
But-
those claims.
Okay, well, we did, but
You guys are welcome to drive over there and have a look at that road.
we
Well,
put,
this has
Tell it
been
hasn't
some
had any
time ago.
maintenance.
yeah, this was done it's been a couple
Okay,
years
we're
ago
here.
since we did this.
If we could-
But we did go down and plow it, but if we drop the plow all the way down, if there is any rock on it, we're gonna pile it up. So, but that wasn't the problem. Everybody across the street that we've never plowed, that Mr. Hardgrove owns back in that way, we've never plowed that alley back in there. And you wanna know why we was plowing one, we should have to plow it all, and then started a fact.
Paved over there too. That, like half of that stretch of road straight back is paved and then it turns to gravel. In front of the number 2.
The majority of my street has
But in
lost
front of
so
number
much
4,
gravel.
it's paved.
It's just a road.
Those have been vacated though by ordinance in 1952.
It's still city property.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah,
a
it
vacated
is.
road. There's just. an
On the
easement.
GIS,
Who
if you
pays the
click on
taxes
it,
over
it
there?
says City of
Where
Elton.
the taxes go for that?
But I'm telling you, it's vacated by the city of Eldon.
Well, then
Those
who owns
property
it?
owners on both of those sides.
Well,
will have-
according to the GIS, the city owns it.
According to the law, it's been vacated.
Well, then you should update the records with the county to who owns it then.
Okay.
Because, you know, according to the GIS, and that's what the record shows. All right?
The record with where? Miller County?
With Miller County, with the
Okay.
property.
I would have to, this is a GIS map.
I mean, I could point it out to you over there on that map,
Still
but
shows the
you
one
have
side
one.
numbered in the middle, but yeah, I'd have to double look at it, but.
So those property owners on either side may have never accepted it back,
Yeah.
but somebody's been on it for 7
And
years.
it goes all the way-
It's theirs anyway.
That, where that turns, it goes all the way down to Grand. That's all city property.
You mean this alleyway?
That whole stretch that I pointed out to you,
Yeah.
right? That says City of Eldon, all the way around. And it's likely because there's utility there.
But just because we own it doesn't mean it's a street.
Well, I'm not really concerned about what you do over there because this is a street. This is a platted street.
And they
That's what this is right here.
plowed that street
Right.
Okay,
line
but,
for
but I'm saying just because you know it's a street doesn't mean we
17
have to
years.
plow it.
Well,
Is your
it's the city street, the city has to maintain it.
no, sir, we don't have to plow it out. There's a city
Well,
that
it's-
within 100 miles of here that doesn't touch it every time it snows, nothing.
Well-
The whole city.
Well, I don't know, it's been plowed in the past, it could be plowed
17
now.
years.
Well, you know, only, I'm not,
I'm just asking.
you know, like, if it's
I
big enough
think
snow, that's all we want. If it's like
Can I say
a small insignificant amount of snow and the weather's gonna melt tomorrow, not a big deal, but 10 inches of snow, she's trapped,
I live there.
that's all.
Can't get out.
You know, and if she had to call 911 for something, then that's gonna cause problems for them to have
If I
access.
can't get an ambulance up there, if they can't get up there, what am I supposed to do? I've had people that like to burn stuff at night. And this past summer, I had to go up to the fire department just to get oxygen. If there was snow on the ground, I wouldn't have been able to get out. and they're burning all the time.
It's a safety issue.
So my question still, or
Still,
where are we
all
gonna
I
go
want
with this?
is one path enabled
So,
to get out.
this
The
is my,
gravel is gone.
this is my thought. I understand that my parents live in a very rural area down a gravel road that's very rarely plowed and it's snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they choose to live. They choose to take the risk when they live 45 minutes from
Right.
a hospital.
Outside of the city.
I'm right across
Right.
the street from the football
But the
field.
county's responsible for cleaning their roads up, they don't touch their road first, they touch other roads. Here's from where I sit. I hear you, and just because it has been plowed before, maybe it shouldn't have been then. But for you, just wanting a path, I get that, but there's probably 50 other people who just want a path. So then as a board, we have to make a decision, are we going to take our resources away from the main roads in town that are traveled by hundreds of people to go make paths for 50 people?
Right, but I'm right off a main road.
Where I
It would
live
take
is on
one turn
fully paved
Up and
road,
down.
north of the high school, and my road wasn't plowed when it snowed until the next day. Nobody touched it.
Probably because they were doing the main roads.
Right,
Right.
and that's understandable. And
But-
just
And I
like
waited
that,
2 days
when they
before.
get time, that's all, when they get
No,
time,
yeah.
just like any other road in the city, any other platted city street, that's the thing.
But you're not asking when they get time. What you're saying to us is, does the city have to plow this road? Should it be our
Well,
responsibility?
It's not, I understand the snow routes and priorities of when we plow what road. And that's not what's in question here. We're not asking for expedite service on that. We just, when you guys come down First Street, that's a swipe in, that's it. You
Cause
know,
I'm the only house back there. I'm not
It's
asking
a
for
200 foot of
special
road.
treatment
and it
I'm
would
just
take less than 4 minutes
halfway down First Street.
to do that. And
And
we still,
two
what do we do
houses
about the
right
street
there.
sign? Under what authority was this changed?
I can't speak to the street sign. I think we could figure that out. But,
Well, that's messing up my mail and my deliveries.
Yeah,
They
so
can't.
I think we could figure that out, and I can't speak for Mandy.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as we changed it from drive to street because it's not a city street. I don't know.
But-
I'm not Mandy. But what I am saying is, if what you're asking the board to say is, do I think we should make an exception and go plow gravel roads? I think the answer is no.
It's not
I
gravel
don't think we should plow gravel roads. Like, the gravel roads, and then we're gonna tear them up, seams point, and then we have to go back and fill. Like, that's
And
just.
and it's easy to say, it's fine if you damage something, but, you know, what if you dig a big hole? What if you hit something? What if you break a mailbox? I don't know. And it's easy to say it doesn't matter, but
There's no
that
mailbox.
becomes a liability for us if you do something. And if you do it here, where there's no mailbox, but there's a gravel road where
Well,
there's
there-
5 mailboxes.
The mailbox
and
is
you
on the
tear
house,
those up.
not on the road.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We're
'cause you're not gonna hit
responsible
it
for
when
fixing
it's
what we break.
mounted to the house, right?
If we plow it, we're responsible for fixing what we break.
And there's
But it's
plenty
your
of-
road.
Responsible
You're
for fixing
you're
for
responsible
plowing.
for
You're
the
my
road.
alderman, aren't you?
It's
I
the
know
You're not
city's,
my alderman?
it's
You're
the
my
city street, you're already
Have you
responsible.
been by there?
My vote would
Will
be,
you please come by?
Well, there's another twist. I mean, we could vote to not plow at all.
You don't need to. There's no ordinance that says we have to plow. The only thing that says we have to do is there is a district downtown that if the mayor says that there is a snow emergency, you have to plow that. Now, I will also tell you that if the fire department or someone calls it a medical emergency, we always go to those first. That is something that is not written, but that's something we always go to. If someone has a medical emergency, we go there first. And then we open up the emergency routes, and they are designated by ordinance. And then there are routes throughout the whole town that are not in the district, because there's a snow district and a snow route. And the district gets hit first and then the route. But once again, this isn't an easy answer, guys, and I don't know what the right thing
I
is to
don't
do, we
think
just
it's
need to be
easy
consistent.
either, but knowing, it's no different than supervising 20 people. If you let one person do it, you have to let everybody do it. And then the calls start coming in, well, my road hasn't been touched, and I haven't found my road, and I live over here, and the main road is still not there. I mean,
But people do that already.
I mean,
You know, like what, because you have priorities on roads that you plow first.
if there's a concern, maybe we table it till we talk to Andy to find out if it.
I'd like to table it until I get all the
Well,
records.
there's nothing we need to do. So I would tell you, if you want to fight this administratively, continue. I think doing what you're doing to fight it administratively is perfectly fine. Pull up there and get whatever you want from them, and then go talk with Randy and try to figure out what to
Working
do.
on it.
Yeah, with David. I would say continue to do that. If you want us to come back in an ordinance and change something that we do in an ordinance, that's something completely different, which would take some more research and trying to figure out what to happen there. If you wanna know more about vacating some of these places that we can't find anything on, and if you want us to vacate something, that maybe we don't have an ordinance that says it's not
I
vacated.
mean, I don't, you guys have utilities, there's utilities there, so either way, it's gotta be right away.
What I'm saying is you have a piece of property that has a corner of it right now that there's no ordinance that says the city vacated it.
Yeah, there
That
is.
your mother owned it. No, there's no ordinance that says the city
Well,
vacated it.
Well, let me see.
I'm just telling you, that
Let
it would
me
be,
just show you what I got here real quick, because.
and there's no record other than when it changed property from one to the other, there's no
This
record of
was-
where it was.
This was to do with that alley.
That's on a deed, but there's
Well, I'm
nothing
saying
that says that the
That's
city
the
vacated it.
only part where the alley was vacated from an alley to,
That is on a deed from one person to another. The one before it does not have it, and there's no ordinance between there that says it was vacated.
that's what I'm saying, it's not, that's the only
That's what I
thing
mean.
that was something that was vacated.
But it's not vacated, is what
It
I'm
was
saying.
vacated.
Oh, the other way. Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying, that alleyway,
Just this part, like on other properties, that's got nothing in county, they even open search, like.
There's a piece of your mother's property that right now is not say it's vacated, but it shows on the map that it's hers. But there's no ordinance that says it's vacated.
yeah, they're, for the southernmost part,
It shows a deed transfer from one owner to another.
that's the alleyway.
No, the alleyway shows vacated officially when they vacated. That little front corner piece.
I had it in here, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that that was gonna come up with contention, so. I don't have it on top.
Will you send that to me? You've got my email. Send that to me. You've got it, because I don't know who to do pictures of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, it could be maintained.
Okay, my call for order here.
I can't find it.
Okay, take it up administratively, and if you want us to do something different, come back.
And what about the sign?
The sign, I don't have a problem changing that. We'll talk about that if it doesn't get done for too long. You know how to reach me.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, what else you got? There,
That was all I got, I don't know.
bid for car.
Yes. Working on it. All right, so we did a bid opening today. We have one bid offer on the replacement control truck. Give everybody a copy of that showing what their offer was. And when we opened it, it was the only one, the numbers looked about what we're expecting. So we just, we can only accept it, so we can move on with that process.
Someone wanna make a motion?
Brian, you good with it?
Yep.
Yep, I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, citizen participation. We have a lot of people here that haven't talked to you yet. Anyone like
If
to
there's someone
speak?
before us, that would be fine, if there's so many people that have.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Nothing.
Absolutely.
So my name's Colleen Abbott, I'm one of the agriculture educators at Elder Career Center, and I have a group of students with me tonight. Most of the team is here you may have seen our agriculture issues group before at Eggs and Issues, and we'll be there again this year. But this year, so what the contest is the group of students find an issue in their community that hopefully also maybe maybe town, maybe state, maybe nationwide, and look into it to they present a skit basically, so they're in some kind of a location and then they do all the research and they have to present both sides of the argument. And so, we had been talking about lots of different things, and then of course we had our, boil order and the issues with the water that came up here, in Eldon, and it was something that had impacted them directly. And so when we were reading things in the paper, looking at different things, and so our issue this year is going to be, as, water systems age, is privatization, something that you should look at. And so they have done some research, they've looked at different, things that are happening, we've looked at a lot, like Pennsylvania has had a lot of, situations that have come up. So we're probably like, Missouri's probably 5 years behind. Here in Missouri, we've had some laws put in place at the state level that has kind of deterred the privatization. And so our setting is going to be at a city meeting, and the aldermen, some of them are aldermen, they're going to play different roles throughout. And so tonight, if we could, they have some questions that they wanted to ask you, and they have some for the public works. And again, they're not, we want to make sure that we portray everything accurately, but then at the same time, bring both sides forward. We are not in favor of the city of Eldon, selling off their water systems or anything like that, but it is an issue. It's an issue with smaller water systems, water districts. There's 242 water districts across the state of Missouri, and cities as big as Eureka probably was the most recent. Neosho just is in the final settings of selling to Missouri American Water, and so which is the biggest entity in the state of Missouri owning private. And so it is something that's an issue, because it's kind of, we think of utilities as something that typically government controls, and because water is a resource that we all have to have, especially when we look at people in poverty, it's something that can be a major issue because they can't control those rates. And so again, we're trying to look at, so they're gonna tell you kind of the role that they play, and then they're gonna ask you those questions. If you don't have the answer, that's perfectly fine. If you can help direct us, we're really here just on an information seeking, so that again, we accurately portray the people and the roles in the city, because we want to do a good job of it, but we're also going to be doing this in the public, and so we don't want to cause more controversy. But again, anytime you can get students who are interested in anything that has to do with how our system works, it can be really positive, even if it was something that wasn't a positive situation to begin with. So with that, I'm going to ask them to come forward, and I'm going to get a couple of pictures of them. So thank you for your time.
Hello, so my name's Evan Cornett, and so my role in this skit we're doing is I'm a city contractor, and so I've been really focusing on the statewide bill that passed tracer wire to be installed around all the sewage and water lines. And so my question was just what's the process you go through to install that tracer wire?
Guess that's for me.
None of us up here have done it.
All right, well, but depending on what you're putting in, are you talking about water or are you talking about sewer?
Water.
Okay, on water, most typically, when you put the tracer wire in, you go from the city main, or on the city main, depending on which one you're working on. If you're working on a private line, you would go from the city main all the way to the meter, and what you do is wrap your wire around the line all the way up, and you would come up the valve, what we call a valve body, and you would stick the wire up and then coil it up and stick it back down and put the lid in it. That way, when the guy comes with the locator, he can pull the lid off and he can hook to the wire, and it's wrapped around that pipe, and it gives you a something to trace with your electrical locator. Now on sewer pipes, a little more challenging, so you have to wrap it around it and go out to the city main and then back up. And what you have to do is, like where you have cleanouts, we have to have cleanouts every 100 feet. It's just the standard. So you got to get a cleanout close to your house, and you want to run it up the back side of the cleanout, because you don't want to stick your hand down in sewer, so you don't want to stick it in you don't have a valve box usually on sewers. So you would stick it on the back side of your cleanout, and that way the locator can come in and hook onto it and trace back. And that's basically how you do it. You want to make sure you're hooked onto the main somewhere it gets power, and you trace that, and you come up, and it's a copper wire, and you hook your locator onto it, and you ground, that's the positive side, and you ground it to the ground, and that's how you trace it back.
When you install it, is there a certain amount of feet you have to go to install it, or would you take out say the whole block and then put it in?
Well, you want to install how many feet of pipe, you install that much wire. And actually you end up more wire, because then you got to come up out of the ground and have a place to hook onto it. So say if you've got 100 feet of pipe, you're going to install 100 feet of cable. your tracer wire, and then you've got a valve box that's usually putting on your depth, say on the average water is 24 to 30 inches on its surface. So you'd have another 24 inches there, and then you're gonna want it to be able to stick out. So normal standard is 12 inches, so you'd have that much more.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Jace Campbell, and in our skit, I will be representing a representative for American Water. So, all I've asked is, has there been any conversation or offers from companies like American Water to dissolve our water district and
Yes. More than once. They send stuff quite a bit.
okay, and has there been any further thought into that as
Not on my end.
Yeah.
But city administrators have talked with them. I don't know where those conversations have gone. But yeah, I mean, it's something that comes up. I don't know, they probably come by. How many times do you guys see them? Once a year?
Couple times a year, usually.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Towns around us have partnered with them, so they're close.
that's all I got? Thank you.
You bet.
Hello, I'm Grant Carringer, and in our state, I'm representing the Public Works Director. My big question I had was for him. What are some of the DNR requirements for testing the water?
Okay. Normally, like us, we used to have 5 wells. We capped 1. Well, we still stayed on our normal 5. You had 5 wells, so you do 5 samples. You want to test your far points of your town. So you basically want to make sure you're representing when you're testing the farthest points in, in the middle of the town. So you want to make sure you're getting a good grid of what's going on in your system. So I take 5 monthly samples every month. So what you do is you go in, some use heat, some use bleach. I use bleach because you don't want to go in some residential house and heat your faucet up, and most of the faucets now are not stainless steel, they're plastic and everything else, so you'll melt them, so you have to use bleach. So you go in there, you want to take the screens off, make sure you get everything clean as possible. You don't want any type of lime or anything can set these tests off, they're very sensitive. So you want to bleach them really well, clean them, run them for 2 minutes, and after it runs for 2 minutes, you slow your water down, you take your cap off, and then you can pull a sample. If anytime you would like to see it, I got sample bottles, I can walk you through it and kind of give you a better visual.
And then the other one is, I was wondering, I'm pretty sure Eldon has in place like a 5-year plan for these water pipes and stuff. Where would be a good place to find that plan?
It's, I guess, me.
Okay. At some point, would we be able to, I'd give you a call or whatever.
Yes, and I can give you an example where we're doing like Countryside right now. We're replacing the water line in there. There's several different types of water mains in Eldon. We have ductile iron, cast, regular iron pipe, plastic pipe, and then what we call transite, which is asbestos type of pipe. You see all the commercials on it and all the stuff, and it's older. Now, under pressure and all, it's not going to give you cancer. So everybody in Countryside is good to go still. So, but when we're doing that, we take safety precautions when we're working on it. Like what we do is we use, most of the time we're cutting it, you'll see us out there, water shooting up the air, American talk, vouch for it. We leave it under pressure because that way, when you're cutting it, don't put off the powder. You don't want to breathe that. So we leave it wet and with water under pressure. And there's 2 reasons we do that. For one, we don't want to drop all the water out in town unless we have to. Number 2 is we don't want the dust. We don't want to breathe the dust, because if not, we're going to have respirators on and everything else. And when you're down in the ditch and you're trying to yell through a mask, it's hard enough to hear them over pumps and everything else. So that's why we're taking safety procedures on that. But we have, as I said, about 80% is iron and ductile iron. Yeah, probably. We only have about 20% plastic. That's why we have a lot of updating to do. The town's very old, and like the mayor was saying, that's the reason why we discuss it, but it takes a lot of money to replace this stuff, but either way you go, it can be expensive. And that's why we rely on grants and stuff, but there's a lot of different factors and all that. So we don't have enough time for me to go on and on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Kylie McDaniel, and in the skit, I play the role of a business person, so I will be like the owner of a coffee shop. So I'll ask my first question because it kind of goes with his, and that would be, what would the rate have to change to be able to apply for a grant to privatize our water?
I don't know what it is right now. We're not high enough right now, I do know that.
What is?
The rate, we would have to raise our rate to apply for certain grants. There are certain grants where your median income has to be,
Right.
a percentage of your rate has to be, I don't know what it is.
Was 25% of their average household income.
2%?
25%.
No way, it can't be that high.
Yeah, it was, at one time it was 25% of the average household income. That's what the bill had to be, is 25%. So like the water bills, when we did it years ago, it was like raising the water bills to over $50 per house. So.
What are they averaging now out of curiosity?
The water bill right now is right at $20 for the first 1,000
So
gallons.
you have water, sewer, and trash all together, and that's about 75.
About 75, 76 is the minimum.
My guess is it's about $100 probably, was probably where we average out to be, but that's a guess. That's what we
I'm
guess.
county, so.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a guess. Did I answer your question? We're not there. I'll try to figure out what your question is as far as where we need to be. A lot of those are block grants and USDA grants.
Okay, and then my second question is if you guys know what like the economic change would be for the businesses around us if we were to privatize our water.
Like pay more. We got pretty reasonable water bill costs, so. I don't know the answer to that. I know a little bit on the sewer side because when we were having sewer in the very beginning, water has just become an issue recently. Sewer, we did a ton of research. At that time, if we had done the plant design in the beginning, it was going to raise it. If we had done the plant design that we have right now, it would have been stable for a short period of time, and I don't know where it would have gone to.
When you talk about utilities, you can think of private company, which is the one we deal with for electricity and gas. And you may have noticed that all of your bills are extraordinarily high this month. Or they just picked me and they don't like me. Okay, so when we talk about the water system, first of all, it's precious. Secondly, we're in the business of giving service to the community. A private company that is for profit may not be as focused on giving service to the community as they are to making a profit. And that's just something to consider.
So to answer your question, maybe a little more in depth, there's some towns around us that have partnered with them really close. I don't know how much research you guys have done, but there's two that are really close. That might give you an idea. The only difference is our infrastructure is really old, like Steve said. So they're gonna have to spend some money if they would come in to do it pretty quick. And right now we're trying to be really, really sensitive to how we spend money and figure out how to do it. So I don't really know the answer to that, but you can probably find out fairly close if you look at a couple communities around us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't a good answer at all. I didn't answer any questions very well.
He's not coming to visit your business.
Hello, my name is Connor Carrier. My question is, as the water system is updated, how will the city assist businesses in maintaining the ability to do business? Like with the water shut off?
Like when they're down? Yeah. See, when we fix something in an area, we try to let them know when we're gonna be there. Like sometimes these guys try to work really early in the morning, later in the evening when maybe they're not a heavy peak time for them.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of opportunities to schedule our water mains because most of the time we're on a emergency situation, and we have to just, go right then. And with what we try to do, if we can, we try to notify everybody we can. But in certain situations, you run into with the older system, you might not be able to just shut down one spot or another. So we might have to open up hydrants just to lower the pressure enough to achieve what we need to do is fix the main. In that, we try to notify like car washes and stuff that it's depended on the water, and that way they got time to go shut their pumps off or anything. That way they don't burn anything up while we're running lower pressure. Like during the boil and all, we were coming back and we was chlorinating for a few days. We've sent out letters, we turned around, called everybody. My whole crews went door to door to the nursing homes, letting them know, do not, check the water, make sure you don't drink a bunch of it because we're super chlorinating at the time. That way they didn't get a surge of it because, people on dialysis, it could affect them. So we wanted to make sure everybody knew it's what we was doing, when we cleared it, and ready to go. Because, when we chlorinated, within 3 days, we had all the chlorine back out. So we flushed every hydrant around town to pull it at different points. We went through thousands and thousands of gallons. Randy probably got several calls on it, on fire alarms, because once we drop the pressure down so much, a lot of the businesses will have fire alarms, and that will set them off. So we try to work together on it. Randy and the fire department, the police, everybody all works together.
Thank you.
Well,
I just had two more that the kids that weren't here, so I'm gonna ask them. So one of them is on that health concern, and so there was some, and I don't know if you even have to, report it or not, like with that last boil order. So some people were like, oh yeah, there are definitely cases of E. coli due to the water. There definitely weren't cases, and I said, is that something that is reported, and if so, is it to the health department, and did you guys have reports of those things? No reports. Okay, and then the other question was on the, just in the, what was done, so you already answered that as far as how do you let people know when those things are happening. And then there was a comment made at the last meeting about like the gentleman that was here from the Rural Water Associations, that we are like part of the reason or part of our issue with recovering from the boil orders because we don't chlorinate. Do you guys have any idea how many like municipalities of our size do not chlorinate or do not put chloride or anything? Do you guys have any idea on that? I just didn't know.
I don't know. I don't know the total numbers right now, but it's very little. Most of them do chlorinate.
Chlorinate. Okay.
I've heard it's 5 or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how true that is, but
it's very, very little, because when we have to go to classes to keep our licenses updated yearly, or every 3 years we have to have it. But we go to classes and we go in there, we're talking and they ask us, and we're like, well, we don't chlorinate. And they're like, really? You don't chlorinate? How do you guys do it? Well, we've been lucky and blessed that we've always had good samples, and the whole years I've been here was the first time we've ever been on a board.
Right, and how many years is that, Steve? That was a question we had.
30 years.
That's what I thought. I thought you said 30 years, but I didn't write it down. Okay. Perfect. And then, the last thing was on the business front. Did you guys have any information from businesses of like what the economic impact was, or any like, is there sales tax data? Is there anything like that of like a year ago? Do you have any idea how we could quantify like what the economic impact was to the town?
You should talk to some of the businesses. There are some restaurants that had that really worked their business.
That they know they have like some actual numbers. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I can tell you some of those later that I'm sure they probably share.
Okay, that's great.
Business owners came to board members individually.
Okay.
And made comments about their losses, which were significant.
Okay. Because we have one is portraying a business that says, don't change it, we like the water the way it is, it's, the reason they came to town, whatever, and then the other side of it is, they're trying to pay for their employees, they have to not just make a profit, but,
I thought your question was there an economic impact for the boil orders?
Yes, yes. And just if there is if you had a number, if there was any number, those kind of things.
I don't, but individual businesses, but I don't know, sales tax wise would be so hard to figure out.
Yeah.
We just give
I'm sure we can figure out. I think we just got in some of the numbers, so.
I just didn't know if if you were looking at any, it's in the past and we're moving forward, and we're all in that same boat. We're just trying to quantify some data that what goes well in the skit or bite, which you gave a great one I wrote down. So sound bites are what make the skit really pop. So did you guys have anything else you came up with or not?
Well, on the chlorination, you was asking, about that. just to let you know, just when you're doing some of your study, it don't just affect the water side, it affects the wastewater side too, because if you chlorinate, then you gotta dechlorinate. So you're adding on more costs throughout the city. The city's gonna take a major blow because our systems are not set up for chlorination. That was one of the biggest problems during the bull order, is how to chlorinate and do it safely, because our wells are kind of unique, they're older. A lot of the newer systems have 2 pipes, we have 1, so we fill and pipe goes up and down out of the same, the water goes out of the same pipe. So, and chlorine, you have to have a detention time. And it's really hard to meet that detention time when you have a single pipe filling and draining at the same area. And plus, you know, you have to have separate areas for your chlorine.
You're
before-
talking about the water tower.
Yeah,
You're talking about that, right, okay.
but when you get through all of that, you also gotta figure, then it's gonna go into the wastewater department, which then you gotta dechlorinate. So it could cost the city really a lot of money the time you get through all the factors in it.
And chlorine's the most corrosive chemical there is on your system.
So, I mean, it'll eat up everything, and with the, like I said earlier, with the system being so old, the iron pipes are not gonna like the chlorine at all, so, I mean, it's
In
gonna
a
be.
lot of
real-
older houses, that's still
Yes.
internal too, right? Okay.
Yeah, it'll affect
From the
everybody.
street to the, yeah, to the
Yeah.
yard, okay.
It'll affect from residential all the way to the city, all the way to the wastewater side.
Yeah, and as a wastewater operator, that's the last thing I want, cause that, you get a shock load of that chlorine at your plant and it'll kill all the bugs that do all your work. I mean,
And
everybody eats
then
everything.
if it, once it goes through the system, we discharge it to the creek, we could have a fish kill if we don't dechlorinate.
Something you also might look into is that a boil order can only be made by DNR. You can do a boil notice at any time, and I don't know how many boil notices you put on. So when you ask him how many boil orders, there's been 1.
Right.
There's been more boil notices.
Yeah, we've let, cautions and stuff like that, but a lot of times you see us out there, and that's when I'm, saying, you see water shooting way up there, we're doing that on purpose. It's not just because the guys wanna get wet, it's just, we're doing that because we're trying to keep the pressure up, because you wanna try to maintain 20 PSI throughout the whole system. Some areas can be down to nothing, but as long as the main areas are staying in 20, if we can isolate it, we will, but sometimes we have to keep it under pressure enough to keep from having to shut down the whole town.
And that's why other towns you see it have boil orders all the time, they're shutting their water all the way down to fix it.
Right.
These guys fix it live.
Right.
We fixed 8-inch mains under pressure, shooting way up in the air, just to try to help the town stay in water for the businesses.
Right.
So we take it above and beyond when we can.
One of my big concerns with looking at chlorinization is, the problem is not at the well. The water coming out of the well, is my understanding, is one of the purest in the state, if not the Midwest.
Right.
There's been companies that have come to Eldon looking into their product because of the purity of Eldon's water. So the problem is only when you have a break somewhere, something fails in the service part of the system, and usually it's just the water main breaks, not necessarily from boring, although they can happen. And so then we have to clean up that time period, but the water coming from the wells still pure. So why chlorinate water that's coming out of an aquifer that's so pure and pristine if you don't have to?
And during this collection, during the time, we never had a bad sample from any of our wells, at any time, so.
So I had 2 things for you. One, could I get a list of names?
Sure.
That way we can make sure everybody's spelled correctly on here
Yes.
for a minute.
Yes.
Also, when it comes to the privatizing versus if the city does it, when the city changes water rates, that's done by a vote, and people have a say in it. Private companies are not run the same way.
Rates are always a vote.
Yes, if we're changing water rates, it goes before the board, we'll normally put a notice out first.
There's a public
paper,
hearing.
Hearing and
Okay, yeah.
everything.
When are you gonna do your skip, man?
So we hope to have the skip finalized by the end of next week, and then we start, we'll go to the Lions Club, we'll be at Eggs and Issues, we'll go to some commodity groups in agriculture and probably DNR, if we can get an audience at DNR and Jeff City. And so their goal is, tonight is one of their forums, so they have to do at least 8 of those in a community, and the goal is to reach at least 200 people. And so if you have any groups, like we're gonna probably go to the senior citizens if we can get an audience there. So we try to get a variety of different groups. There's a citizens group that we met with last year that meets at Central Bank. I can't remember the name of it. But there's just, last year we actually went to like Miller County Republican Committee. It was on immigration, so that was one that was a hotter topic politically, some maybe than, and some that were more state, like countywide, where this is not an only Eldon issue, but I said that the focus is more on Eldon. Because in the county, most people have their own well. You know, we don't have any other rural water, very many rural water districts in the area. So yeah, those will be some of the places that we'll be at. But if you have a group that you would love, they need as much practice as they can get, and so we would love to come out and be there for any group that's interested. So we really appreciate the time and really appreciate your answers, but I'll write those names down right now. Okay.
I appreciate your effort, and I would just say, my kids would always make fun of me when I said you need to stay abreast of the issues and be aware, because in a few years, if you're not already, you're gonna be voters. So, you really should know what you're voting for, so, you know, you guys could be sitting up here one day. Whoever's gonna be Steve could be Steve one day, or you could own your own business one day. And so, learning about these things early just makes you more knowledgeable about them through your life. Way ahead.
And go win again.
Yeah.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
Rock Island is the last good winner, so.
Sounds good. All right, we're ready to go into the bills. Are you ready, Dave? Okay, new business. Bill number 8, 2026. This is a pay for Patterson for this is the First Street improvement. Any questions on this one? Not for me. Any questions?
Okay, no?
First Street, what's the timeline on that? Do you know?
We are at a little standstill at the moment. They found something in the way right now, and we're trying to figure out what to do with it. That will probably come back to us at some point, I assume.
Yeah,
right?
it's mostly in Scott's hands right now. I'm taking care of as much as I can, so if you want more information, you're gonna have to have me or ever and reach out to Scott directly, probably.
Here's the quick of it. There is something in the way that we're trying to negotiate with the contractor to figure out what we need to do and how to move it. Just kind of like the gas line that they found earlier that we didn't know was there. There's another line in the way, but it's not gas this time. So trying to figure out what to do with it. So the timeline is stretched. I don't know how long. Scott's been working
What was
with
the
them for.
original timeline?
December 14th.
Yeah.
What was it?
December 14th.
Okay.
So it's already over.
Yeah, this is
Approve a change order for.
second stoppage. I mean, there's not really much we can do. They can't just cut it off.
Exactly.
This one is $462,221.50.
I make a motion to put ordinance 8-2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 8-2026, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 3, agreement between the city of Eldon, Missouri and B&P Patterson LLC.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance 8-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 8-2026, ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 3, agreement between the city of Eldon, Missouri and B&P Patterson LLC. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weeberry. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker. Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin. We do only have 3 votes at the moment. Well, I mean, do you still have the quorum?
No, we need 4 for 4.
Oh,
Don't we?
I mean, she's still here, so.
Oh, she could, yeah. She abstained, she was in the majority.
There you go. There, you got it.
Yes.
There you have enough ayes and passes in for.
And I declare bill number 8, 2026 to be ordinance 8, 2026. another payout, this is for winter ditching, we're doing the countryside project, this one is for $88,483.76. You know why they weren't working today?
Yeah, they ordered a breaker, really fancy one to break up a lot of the rock that's under
Where they're
everything.
at?
And let's see, they got it Tuesday and they used it for 1 hour and it broke. So it's currently getting repaired. They're hoping to have it back tomorrow. Regardless, they've done enough from what Clay Beasley told me, our inspector.
Yeah.
That they should be testing at some point, either Friday or next week.
Really?
Next week.
They were moving very fast, and
They will
then
be-
the last day and a half. they had
Yeah, so they've done, well, they've connected to the 2 spots where it's been bored under the highway, and then they've connected from, that first stretch, I can't remember, is it Sunnyview? I can't remember the name of the street. It's the most outside one, and it's enough that they're willing to test it.
Wow.
So, that should happen relatively soon. I know he was brushing up on the spec for it, so.
Good deal. Very good. Any questions on this one?
I make a motion to put ordinance number 9-2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 9-2026, ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 2, agreement between the city of Eldon, Missouri and Ditmer Ditching LLC.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 9-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 9-2026, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 2, agreement between the city of Eldon, Missouri and Ditmer Ditching LLC. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Mayor, you have enough ayes and passage and approval.
I declare bill number 9-2026 to be ordinance 9-2026. Bill number 10. This one, move it on the dog tag. Can I tell the reason for this one?
Yes.
It's pretty, this one's gonna pass pretty good, sure.
So right now, if they get a duplicate tag, they lose their tag on another one, it costs the city, you said $1.37?
$1.27.
$1.27 to make, and we're charging $1. So we're only at $2.
Other than $2.
Well, I make a motion to put ordinance number 10-2026 on first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 10-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 210 animal regulations of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 210.050 duplicate tags.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 10-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 10-2026, ordinance amending chapter 210 animal regulations of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 210.050 duplicate tags. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yes.
Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Mayor, you have enough ayes and passage and approval.
I declare bill number 10-2026 to be ordinance 10-2026. The next one is personnel practices. This one is going to change it from, is this matching something else in there?
Yes, so this one was to make it line up with the other one, because we had one said it started on the next month, and then one had it set up so if you started in the first half of the month, you get it, or start in the second half. And then we added in the section B, because we've had people before where something comes up, they broke down car, they need money quick, they have a lot of saved up vacation time, we've been letting them cash it out on like a case-by-case basis, but we have no policy in place. So we wanted to make it where we're something in writing, uniform, so everybody gets the same thing. So that's what the section B is.
So right now we don't allow for that, right? Unless it comes before.
We have allowed for it in the past, but we didn't have anything in writing. So to keep anybody from doing anything, get anybody in trouble, we want to make sure we have a written policy, because we have allowed it in the past. So we just want to make sure it's uniform and in writing.
Well, that's a good idea.
Okay with it?
I make a motion to put bill number 11/2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Bill number 11-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.320 vacation.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 11-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 11-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.320 vacation. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Mayor, have ayes and passage and approval.
I now declare bill number 11/2026 to be ordinance 11/2026. Number 12.
And this is, we're making this match the top section of the one we just looked at, because these were the ones that were kind of at odds with each other. So now we're making, so it's both sections that separate, match up the same.
I make a motion to put ordinance number 12-2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 12-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personal practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.310 leave.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 12-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 12-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.310 leave. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Mayor, have ayes and passage and approval.
I declare bill number 12/2026 to be ordinance 12/2026. Number 13.
Okay, so this one, we have a lot of employees who leave and come back, and our system takes the old sick time out, and we didn't have any kind of policy in place on how long we should keep it in. So this is just making so we have a set number. If you come back after just a couple months, your sick time is still in the computer, you can have it reinstated. If you come back a year later, it will not be there. So we got it set for 6 months.
Why are we keeping it at all?
Yeah, that's my question. It's like, why would you keep it all?
It's been that way, and we've had some people come back, and if they were never taken out of the computer, which most people, if they come back ever, since we've got a new system, their time is still in there. But, I mean, this is a board decision, if you want it not in there at all, that's.
Well, throw out a hypothetical up to you, it's kind of I've been thinking about. Say somebody doesn't like the cold weather and they leave and they go somewhere for 6 months and they work where it's warmer and then they come back. With this, we're allowing them to keep their sick time that they accumulated before. There's nothing that says that if you do it once, twice, 3, 4 times, it's still gonna be there. I don't know about this one in my personal opinion, because my personal business, I would just say if you leave, it goes away.
But that's what most organizations offer. Like, you leave the organization, you lose all the stuff you accumulated. There's no.
I mean, it'd be a nice perk for getting somebody back.
I would say agencies can put on the books.
Really?
Forever. Or something else to think about doing with it is either putting it like in a shared leave pool.
This actually says you can't do that.
Well, that's because we've had people who have left and had years worth of sick leave, and then right when they leave, they go donate it. So we'll have people who just get here, now they have a rather large chunk of.
Maybe we don't
like sick time.
designate them a person, like, I mean, it's what it is, but in my job, there's a shared pool.
Yeah.
And there's a committee, which is honestly, there are 2 people who decide you can apply for shared leave if you have a critical illness, a family member, that, you know, there are certain criteria, and then that allows them to use that shared leave when their leave is depleted.
Okay.
So like if somebody had cancer and they only had 2 months of sick leave, but they need to be out 3 months, rather than saying, hey, can you donate, hey, can you donate, you have a shared leave pool.
Okay.
And then they could come to whoever and say, hey, can I have 40 hours of a shared leave pool, or whatever the case may be, and they say yes.
Any ideas with that work, whatever you guys decide, we can.
Playing devil's advocate a little bit, it also scares me a little bit, somebody finds out they are sick, you don't have to disclose that when you're hired, you come back and you've got all the sick time from when you were here before, now you've got a year's worth of sick time built up.
I know.
They only cap it though, like typically when you have a shared leave pool, there's a cap that you can pull from it annually, so there's typically some type of cap, you can't just keep pulling.
I don't necessarily agree with just keeping it on the books forever, but I'm just saying, rather than it being wasted, because they would have used that leave if they were still employed, or does it count against their years of service and retirement? Like when somebody leaves, this says termination, that doesn't say if you retire, but if you terminate and you have 1,000 hours of sick leave, can you accrue that, account that towards however many hours a year that would be? So that's 2 years to.
We do not currently apply it again if you're like trying to retire, like I had a year's worth of sick time.
Okay. I mean, something to think about. I don't really love this, but I think a shared pool would be something really nice.
I think we do something else with this.
Okay, so just
table this one and bring something back to the table and let's strategize that one.
Okay.
Okay. Good, one you don't have to do tonight. Okay, bill number 14, this one is changing it from 6 to 3 months, probably just to make everything uniform again. Right?
We have a lot of people that'll come in and 6 months, we just decided it's kind of a long time, because after 3 months, you've already got plenty of time built up, so it was kind of, I mean, we just want to change that to make it easier to wait the full 6 months. Because we've allowed people to take it early before.
It's just that benefit for new employees.
Yeah.
3 months. I don't have an issue with it. You guys? 2 months. So I typically see organizations I work with is 3 months. It's all over the board now. I'm just trying to look up and it's anywhere from 28 days to 180 if you get a written notice at some point. So I'm fine with 3 months.
I make a motion to put ordinance
Wait,
14.
I think this is contradictory unless I'm misreading from the one that we tabled. So to think about this, it says on B, employees accrue and may use sick leave during their trial period. Employees accrue and may use sick leave during their trial period. It doesn't say you have to wait 3 months. Here, we're telling them they have to wait 3
Well,
months.
this is vacation. Sick leave and vacation are 2 different times they accrue.
This doesn't say that.
But if you only use sick leave,
And this is not a
this
vacation.
one.
It says vacation
are not
and sick
eligible to use
under D.
vacation until after.
Yeah.
Well, they can't use
Right.
vacation.
It says vacation.
But it says vacation and sick leave are not, so you're saying sick leave is still fine.
Yes, they can, if they get sick, week 2, they can take a sick day if they have sick time.
Got it.
But for,
But not vacation.
yeah, vacation, they have to be there for 3 months before they can put in to take vacation days.
Got it. So I'm gonna answer that then.
We contradict in here all the time, so we're not surprised.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I make a motion to put ordinance number 14-2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 14-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.210 introductory period.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance 14-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 14-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.210 introductory period. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Mayor, you have enough ayes and passage and approval.
Declare bill number 14-2026 to be ordinance 14-2026. Resolution 2.
passed last year, but we're just redoing it because we're trying to get it submitted in time this year.
This is something that has to be done for the Blue Shield. Alderman Fair brought it to the board last time as a resolution, and we passed it unanimously. Nothing's changed with it.
Just change the date and the number.
I think it's a great idea, and make a motion to pass it.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Alright, bill number 15, 2026. This one, I think we talked about at one point that we were gonna bring back to change the fee schedule for, pool parties. There are a couple things we need to do with this one. There, at the very end, it says each private swim party will be 2 hours in length. Well, as you can see above, there's a couple little hour-and-a-half ones. So that needs to be struck from there. Someone wants to make a motion to do that and pass it at some point.
Do we make that motion, when we make the motion for passage,
Yes,
we
we
make
do.
a motion to amend?
Yes,
Do we want
pass
to
it
strike
as
it, or
amended.
do we just wanna change the wording to say, will be a maximum of?
You can do that too. Whoever makes the motion can do it however they want.
What would you prefer?
Do we ever have pool parties over 2 hours? Does someone ever do them back to back? And rent it?
Yes, there are people who.
That will do 4 hours. So I don't know that you want to put a maximum on it. I think it's easiest to strike it.
Perfect.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Motion to strike and go ahead.
Second.
Okay,
Oh, go ahead.
I make a motion to put ordinance number 15, 2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Wait a minute, how,
But
how
with
did we
amendment.
strike?
We struck out that whole.
I know what was struck out, but did we make a motion to do that?
It needs to be on your motion.
Oh,
Say with
and
amendment.
strike
To
the
be-
last sentence on the third page that reads, each private swim party will be 2 hours long.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Amended bill number 15, 2026. An ordinance amending chapter 225 Parks of the Municipal Code of the City of Eldon, Missouri, by revising section 225.090 Eldon Aquatic Park fee schedule.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and do ordinance number 15-2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only with the same inclusion as the strike of the first motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Amended bill number 15, 2026. An ordinance amending chapter 225 Parks of the Municipal Code of the City of Eldon, Missouri, by revising section 225.090 Eldon Aquatic Park fee schedule. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weedberry. Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin. Mr. Mary, have ayes. And resolution approved.
Now declare bill number 15, 2026 to be ordinance 15, 2026. You made it. Okay, my business, I've got a couple things. City attorney has tendered his resignation as February 28th, or if we find someone before then, just so you all are aware, if there's someone you want us to look into, please let me know. We'll be looking for a new city attorney and a new prosecutor. I've been asked to make a committee for the airport. I talked to you all about that at one point. I have names. I'd like to propose that we start an advisory committee for the airport. Are you all okay with that still? Yes. Yes, yes. Okay, I'd like to make Corey Dunn the chair of that, Russell Hanson, Jimmy Wheat, Landon Hall, Eric Dial, and Chance Simpson on that committee.
Can you read those names to me so I
Yep.
can write them down?
Absolutely. Corey Dunn, Russell Hanson, Jimmy Wheat, Landon Hall, Eric Dial.
Hang on.
Sorry.
And then Landon Hall.
Yep. Landon Hall, Eric Dial,
Got it.
Chance Simpson.
Okay. What is this person, what are this committee gonna do?
They're wanting to improve the airport, do some things out there. Right now, there's no building. If for some reason you land at the airport and there is a hailstorm or something, you have to sit in your plane. There's no building for them to go to unless you want to go to a porta potty, which wouldn't be fun to ride out a hailstorm in. So they're wanting to do some improvements out there. They're looking at possibly doing some sort of courtesy car, which most airports have that are our size. I'm not sure what's going to come back from the committee. but there are some improvements that they're at least looking at, and probably some other things that.
And the city would pay them?
That's up to the city. It's a committee at this point to look at what they want. It's an advisory committee. We'll see. I don't know what they're interested in and where it goes. And if we do, we have to get bids from it. So we'll see what happens. And if there's someone else you guys know that want to be on that committee, let me know. I will let them know as well. An alderman or alderwoman? Absolutely. If somebody wants to be on that committee.
I will volunteer.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, Brian too. And if there's any others, I don't want it to get too big, but I would, a couple others wouldn't be a bad deal. So that would be great. I will have them get a hold of you. I'll let Corey know since he's going to share it. Okay, those are the only two things that I have. Let's see, the city administrator is not here. Alderman, alderwoman.
I only have a question about personnel. I see in here that we still not hiring anybody for the open positions. Is that still true?
I don't know.
Fire says interviewing, public works, streets, parks, codes, and communication on the fire.
Communications, we don't.
No.
For Public Works, we had one start today for doing the meter stuff. He will, and then we have another one starting in wastewater next Wednesday.
Okay, so do you have no vacancies then, or do you
So,
have vacancies?
There's still one in streets technically.
Okay.
Water's full.
Okay.
Wastewater, I think there's one. I could be wrong on that one.
Wastewater will be full once the gentleman who starts next week.
Okay, so we're only have one for streets?
I believe so.
Yes.
Don't quote me on it, but I believe so.
Okay.
But water's full.
The list that's still in this packet is none of these have been filled.
Okay,
And
I'll
then
let her know.
they still hiring for parks too, I believe.
Okay, because it says 2 for parks, I'm assuming that's 1 full-time and then 1 half-time, is that about?
I believe so.
Okay.
Because Travis transferred to water.
Yes,
So
and then the codes communication was the half for each, right?
That has not been hired. That has not been hired.
That's
Communication,
It was the one that was split budget?
yes.
Okay.
That's between me and Vern.
Say that again?
That's split between me and Chief Vernon.
Yep, that's what I thought, okay.
Can you get us a list of new employees? Every time we have new employees, and it'd be really nice, David, if you go out and take their picture too. That way they
What?
actually know who they are.
I'm glad I've been here for 6
I
years.
was just gonna suggest, like, that we get a list of new people, because
It does.
We can start putting together a
I
list.
would,
Yeah,
like,
it does.
it also would help
That's Steve.
other businesses and hire us, because now,
Yeah. I mean, I pop around every once in a while, and sometimes I don't. It'd probably be nice for them to have a list and a picture of us too, to be honest with the board. So, I don't know if you can put something together, maybe on a piece of paper that says, hey, these are.
Yeah, because I don't know how many times you showed up and like, who is that?
I know, and I
You
do
don't
that a
know who
lot.
that
I just
is?
stop and ask you questions, so.
and
it
you
might
say,
be good.
don't make him mad.
Yeah, don't say nothing when he's around. Like, you're
I always say,
incriminating.
throw him in the hole and cover him.
You want him to like you, I mean, you probably.
Yeah. Okay,
I didn't have
anything
it.
else?
Nope.
Okay, as authorized by section 610.021, I will go into closed session for legal one and for personal matters. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Make a motion, we gotta go action.
Is there a second? All in favor? All opposed?
Roll call. Alderman Phillips. Yes. Alderman Weaver. Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Good night.